Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to tackle three of the most powerful and most common words in the entire English language: is, am, and are. Ready? Let's dive in.
Think about some of the most basic questions we ask. Who are you? What are you? Where are you? To answer any of them, you really only need one special little family of verbs. They are the absolute bedrock of speaking English.
So what exactly are they? Well, we call them be verbs. And here's the key thing you got to remember. They are not action verbs. They don't tell you about someone running or jumping or thinking. Nope. They just tell you what something is. They describe a state of being, a simple fact.
And it's amazing how much you can do with them. With just these three words, you can talk about how you're doing right now. You can say who you are, like a student or a doctor. You can express your feelings, and you can even say where you are in the world. They're like the ultimate building blocks for describing, well, almost everything.
Okay, let's start with the very first piece of the puzzle, making a positive statement. How do you use these verbs to just say something that is true?
The basic recipe here is super simple. You start with your subject, that's the who or the what you're talking about. Then you pop in the right be verb, is, am, or are. And then you add the object, which is just the rest of the story, the part that describes your subject.
Okay, now this next part, this is probably the most important rule of all. You have to match the subject with the right verb. It's super easy. I always gets am. If you're talking about one person or thing, like he, she, a name, or the dog, you use is. And for you, or for anything plural like we or they, you're going to use are. This one's a golden rule.
So, let's see how that looks. I am happy. She is a teacher. They are students. See? It just flows. Now let's take that middle one. She is a teacher, and see what else we can do with it. All right, so you can say what is true, but what about what isn't? How do you say something's just not a fact? Well, you're not going to believe how simple this is. Check this out. To take that positive sentence and flip it into a negative one, all you need is one tiny powerful word, not. That's literally it. You just added one word, and you've completely changed the meaning.
So the official formula, if you want to call it that, is almost the same as before. The only difference is that the word not slides in right after the verb. Subject, be verb, not. Simple as that.
And that gives you sentences like these. I am not tired. He is not angry. We are not late. Saying what isn't true is just as important as saying what is. So, next up, what about asking questions?
Okay, you can state facts and you can deny facts, but a conversation isn't just you talking, right? You got to ask questions to learn things. And with be verbs, there are two main ways to do it.
The first type is almost like a magic trick. You start with a statement, something simple, like, he is your friend. Then, to make it a question, you just flip the first two words. He is becomes, is he? That's all there is to it. And just like that, you've got your formula for what we call a yes-no question. You lead with the be verb, is, am, or are, and then the subject comes next. And it's called a yes-no question because, well, the answer is always going to be yes or no. Is he your friend? Yes. Are they home? No. Easy. But that's not always what you need, is it? Sometimes yes or no just doesn't cut it. Sometimes you need more. You need information. And right here, you can see the difference perfectly. On the left, a yes-no question. On the right, a question that demands information. You can't answer, where are you, with just a yes. You have to give a place. That's an information question. So how do we make those? It's so easy. You take that same yes-no question structure we just learned, and you just add one thing to the very front, a WH word. Words like who, what, where, when, why. Just look at these. You can still see that basic is this, are you, is he structure we practiced. But by popping that WH word at the beginning, the whole question changes. It becomes a request for information. Whew, okay, that was a lot, I know, but we've really covered all the fundamentals. So let's do a super quick recap just to lock it all in place.
This really brings it all home. Look, we started with one simple positive statement. She is a teacher. Add not, and it's negative. Flip the first two words, and it's a yes-no question. Add a WH word to that, and it becomes an information question. It's four incredibly powerful tools, all spun out from one simple idea.
So there you have it. You now have the tools to describe reality, to deny it, and to ask questions about it. The only thing left to do is to use them. So here's my question for you. Using is, am, or are, what's one true thing you can say about yourself right now? Go ahead, think of one. That's how you start mastering this.